to make a statement on Saturday. What does that entail? What does making a statement look like? What specifically do you want to see?
Uh, aggressive mentality. Um, I thought on Tuesday we had opportunities to be aggressive, and for whatever reason on the day, we just weren't. And it's aggressive with the ball, it's aggressive without the ball. Um, I think intensity has been probably the calling card of this team for this season. And Tuesday felt like it wasn't where it usually is and wasn't where it needs to be. And it's something we've talked about even in training today. We see a spike in intensity. I think without a doubt this group knows that they have something to prove.
Miami's coming off a disappointing, really shocking loss. So
Yeah.
Tactically, what kind of matchup do you expect this to be? What are you expecting to do?
Obviously, they're just loaded with talented players, and I think anybody who deals with Miami, stopping them is probably number one priority, and then we have to find ways to hurt them as well. But they're obviously such a good technical team that how you approach them, how you defend them is really important and really critical. But we have players who can certainly hurt other teams as well, and we need everyone to be in that sort of aggressive mindset with the ball, but especially the guys who carry the load of the attack.
Robin, do you do anything special when you have a player like Messi coming in, specific to his skill set, or just when you have a superstar like that and there's probably lots of his fans in the stands? I mean, is that something extra you prepare for, or you just look at his team as a whole?
I think every team, you look at the team, but every team also has players who are their key players, and week to week, depending on who the players are, what positions they play, those kind of special tweaks can materialize. I mean, I said it every time we talk about Messi. I think he's the best who's ever played the game, and that's a big task, and in some ways a big motivator for teams that play against him. And certainly I think about the old Michael Jordan expression, you can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him. I think that the same could be said. It's been many, many years now that I've felt like he's the best player in the world, and certainly you have to pay attention to him and know where he is and defend him really well. You need a little bit of luck. But then I think we can create our own luck when we do have the ball and some of the things that we do.
Are you surprised that at 38 he still brings it like he does?
No, not at all, really. I mean, the great players are the great players. And I was with Thierry Henry when he was 38, I think. 38, 37, 38, somewhere around there. And while you're not as dynamic at that age as you were 15 years ago, there's genius in them, and they know how to find it in the right moments.
The greatest player, of recent time coming to BMO Field, and it's going to be 45,000 sellout. I know, and obviously you're focused on your team, but do you allow yourself to kind of, get hyped up by the moment and kind of appreciate how big of a deal this is?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because I'm generally so focused on our team and our performance that I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that. And because it's the here and the now, we probably don't spend as much time thinking about it, probably in reflection, and sometime I'll be like, wow, you can think about Pele, Franz Beckenbauer, Johan Cruyff, all these guys, but the one who's probably the best player in the world, we got to see week in, week out, and certainly for us, we got to see twice a year. And I think in time it'll be really, really special. Right now, we just need to win games.
What is your scouting report on day?
What is my scouting report on that?
Maybe when you talk about a team that's looking to make a statement, it's not just all of Inter Miami. I imagine Dane St. Clair is going to, at home, at a place that he's won developmental cups in, he's going to want to make a statement because he's still in the running to get into the men's national team and be the first.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, players have motivations. Each player has their own motivation, whatever it might be. For certain guys, it's a World Cup. For certain guys, it's trying to get into the first team. So at the end of the day, we all have to do our jobs. And by that, I mean, whatever players' motivations are, we have a group that we have to try and put in the proper set of sort of alignment to best deal with them and to best put ourselves in the position to win. And certainly, you think about the individual goals. DePaul and Messi, I believe, are involved with Argentina. Dane with Canada. We have Oso, who's with Canada as well. We have some players who are on the outside of the U.S. team looking in. So for sure, it's an interesting year because these guys are all motivated to be fit and healthy in the event that they either get called for the World Cup or they are going to the World Cup. But at the same time, they're in a season where their teams need to get points. So there are so many different factors going on. And for us, for here and now, is to try and focus on this and do the things that this team needs. And I mean, we're so excited for Richie and Oso in particular to go, and for Derek to go with Haiti. And I would love for one of the Americans to get called up with the U.S. team, one of them or all of them. But as a group, we just really have to focus on stopping what is a very dangerous attacking team and loaded with very, very good attacking players.
Overall, given that the temporary stands will be open, what kind of moment is it in terms of making a statement in front of the whole city and a crowd like that, knowing what this team is still trying to build this season?
I mean, it's a huge moment because there'll be a huge spotlight on the stadium this weekend for a number of reasons. Opening the stands up, it's the first time it'll have that many people in BMO. The World Cup is weeks away, it feels like. And this is a team that we feel like is going this way in spite of Tuesday. We have a lot of injuries. We have a lot of guys who have to step up, but we know that with the right mentality, we can show this city that this team is really on the move.
And where's Richie at as of today?
Where's Richie at? Downstairs.
His health.
He's progressing. He's been running. He's doing well. Certainly the goal is to get him back, hopefully for us. Probably we'd like to be able to get him back before the World Cup break, but if not, we certainly know that he's going to be 100% ready to go for the World Cup.
Do you expect anybody to return to the lineup this weekend?
This week? No. We have some guys that are getting closer and closer for sure, but I don't think we get anyone back. I think Nixon and Theo are getting closer, are really getting closer, but it won't be this weekend, but it could be soon for at least one of them, if not both of them.
Go ahead, Neil.
Thank you. Hi, Robin. Nice to speak to you again.
Hey, Neil. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry I'm not there. I have another appointment that bumps heads with this downtown.
Gotcha.
Just one question. As mentioned, there's going to be a huge crowd there, close to 45,000 people with the temporary seats open for the first time. I know you're focused on what's happening on the field, but what do you think the atmosphere is going to be like on Saturday?
I think it'll be great. I think, I've seen this stadium. I've been here. I was here in 2015 when we first expanded the stadium. I was also here the next year when we further expanded it. So I've seen the growth of this stadium. I've been fortunate to see the growth of this stadium. And this is just another step in making this just a tremendous, tremendous soccer venue. And it really just contributes to what I think is a fantastic soccer city.
Will you be urging your players to leave a little earlier on Saturday for the stadium?
I mean, I've had some disastrous drives to the stadium for the Canadian national team games in the last 6 or 8 months. So I would advise everyone to leave early and or take public transportation.
Good advice. Thank you, Robin.
You bet. Thanks, Neil.
Go ahead, James.
Thanks, LA. Hey, Robin.
Hey, James.
Whenever a club runs into an injury spell like this, I always sort of go to the roster size. We've been at this 30-man limit, the 20 main and 10 supplemental for some time now. Is it time for the league to consider, maybe expanding that back end, some two-way contracts to allow you to use some younger players a little more regularly? I know Bostonberry's already used up his 2 appearances.
I don't know if the roster needs to change. This is certainly not normal, the number of injuries we have. So I don't know if it needs to change. I think it would be an intriguing and interesting change to talk about increasing the number of times that young players can come forward, especially in a league that is very much about developing young players now, whether for their own teams or to sell internationally. Certainly to create the opportunity to have more young players involved more consistently, I think is an interesting thing to look at. Certainly now, probably most years I wouldn't even think about this, but as I look at it now, we'd love to have 6 call-ups instead of 4 or something along those lines. Just in the position that we are right now, it's really, really highlighted. I would say for maybe 25 or 26 of the 30 years of this league, I wouldn't have thought of it. But when you have years like this and years like 2018, then you think if there were mechanisms to allow us a bit more help, obviously we'd appreciate it.
Go ahead, Benedict.
Thank you. Robin, James just mentioned Anthony Bostonberry. Just wondering what you saw from him over his 3 appearances, and is he someone maybe you can see signing a first-team contract in the future to get him more involved in the future later this season?
Yeah, Anthony has done, and I'll just call him Tony. Tony's done really well for us. He had a very good preseason. He really grew in the 6 weeks of preseason. You could see in the very beginning, it took a while for him to catch a speed of play, and by the end, I thought he fit right in. Certainly in this last 3 games, he's come in and he's given us some really good moments. He's certainly not ready yet, but he's certainly a player who is really coming on and we're really excited about. And I would say he's definitely ready to contribute minutes. But this is a player that we certainly are intrigued by and would love to see more of.
Go ahead, James.
Thanks, again, Robin, I've been workshopping the nickname The Boss for Tony there, so any help you can give me on that would be great.
I think it's going to be a hard sell to have people call the 17-year-old the boss.
Yeah, that's fair. The Legends game is on Friday. I'm wondering if you've been able to have any of those guys who are in town around the training ground this week, and if you were at all tempted to lace your boots up yourself.
I never played for TFC, so I'm not a TFC legend, so nobody was interested in me playing anyway. B, I would be more of a liability than anything else right now, so I'm excited to see some of these guys play. It's been a while. I haven't seen Josie in quite a while. To see Josie and Seba play together, I think that'd be great. Ash and Beta are going to play, who are guys obviously I see day in, day out. I'm excited for the occasion and the event. I played against Ronaldinho when he was 19 before he went to Europe, and we'll see if we cross paths again. I'll remind him of that game.
One final question before.
DeAndre, how big of a deal was that for him to get on the score sheet on Tuesday, just given that he's had injury issues this year and he's kind of floated in and out in terms of playing time?
Yeah, it was really big. I think DK has shown an ability to score very good goals. I feel like when we came here last year, he still seemed a little bit uncertain of himself. He's played on the wing, he's played as a 9, he's relatively new as a 9. And I think what's developed in the last 14, 15 months is that he's gone from someone we've asked to try to put himself in goal-scoring positions to becoming someone who's hungry to score goals. And that's a big, significant change. You see his movement in and around the box now. I think he used to look like, I know I'm supposed to be in here. Let me look around. Maybe the ball will come to me. And I feel like now there's real intent to everything he does in the box. And he's very, very goal-oriented now, which is something we talked about pretty much since we've been here. I know Woldy's worked very closely with him in helping to shape that mindset. And I feel like that goal was a really good example of how he gets into good position. He shields the player off long enough to keep the space for himself. It was a really, really well taken goal, a really well played ball by Derek, and a really well taken goal. And it was a real goal scorer's goal, in my opinion, in that he made sure to put himself in the right position and wasn't going to be denied.